I'm Sara. We're from Group 9, and the theme of our project is Voices of Change. We're here today at the Million Women Rise protest, and we're here to support the fight against male violence towards women.
We arrived at the protest around 12 p.m. and we were handed some signs and chant sheets for the march. The street was filled with women who had come from all over to support each other. There was also a support bus that honored victims of male violence. I was able to speak with a few protesters on their thoughts about the event.
What's your name?
My name is Jeandre.
What brings you to this protest here today?
Well, I'm here today because it's International Women's Day, and I think it's really important that we remember the radical roots of this day. It's a day where women have come together in New York in the early 1900s. Women came out on strike in the textile factories. I'm here today because we're seeing an endemic rise in violence and sexual violence against women, but we're also seeing attacks on trans rights across the world, across the US and Britain. And these questions are inherently linked because it's about a question of choice, it's a question of bodily autonomy, and we live in an ever more polarized world, and that's why we need to come out louder and stronger in order to combat this kind of trend to the far right, because we're only stronger when we come out in our numbers and together.
What do you think needs to happen so that male perpetrators can be held accountable for their actions?
I think, first of all, the question of our justice system is inherently biased. Our justice system has never really served the interests of the people. We need to support the campaigns within who are fighting for real justice to be louder and stronger and come out when they are. And in order to to challenge this violence against women, we need to take away the normalization of it. And the normalization of women's oppression is in every aspect of life. It's within our relationships, our marriages. It's within the way the job sector is structured, pay, maternity, paternity, and so on. And it's so normalized.
The march set off around 1:20 p.m. with hundreds of women holding powerful signs and singing, chanting, and dancing together. These women came for a range of different reasons, whether it be fighting for a loved one who's experienced male violence, resisting a global political injustice, or simply supporting other women. The atmosphere was great, and we were marching on one of the busiest streets in London, which is crucial in spreading awareness of male violence towards a big audience.
What are your names?
My name's Lynn.
Elaine.
What inspired you guys to attend this protest today?
Well, it's about violence against women, isn't it? But it's also because there's huge violence against women going on in Palestine and Israel. So we see ourselves as part of that as well.
I mean, I agree with Lynn. It's got wider, we're lesbians, and we're fighting against oppression of lesbians, especially young lesbians. But given the wars going on, they affect women and children, as you just said, didn't you? Much more.
Yeah. What message do you want to send women around the world who are currently experiencing violence from men?
They should resist violence against men and join together in their resistance.
Yeah, it's getting the message over, because I think there's a conspiracy with police and men generally, the law all over the world, that oppresses women and children, and by children we mean mainly girl children, but little boys as well.
Do you think this is something that we can train in schools?
Yeah, I worked with a girls' project, a young women's project, and we used to go into schools and have girls-only groups and have discussions with girls saying your future doesn't have to be about getting married and being a housewife. Your future can be about being strong in the world, and you have choices.
Around 3 p.m. we arrived in Trafalgar Square, where a series of speeches and performances were made, including a speech about the deaf community and a poetry performance.
Deaf women experiencing domestic violence. Stop deaf women being locked in their rooms at home.
The women in our lines have been spilling blood for too long now. Us warrior women have been fighting in wars since the dawns were recorded. This war is now. We reject abuse of power. We reject Donald Trump. We reject Keir Starmer. We reject. We demand some respect.
Overall, this protest was an amazing experience, and I enjoy supporting such an important cause. We witnessed a diverse group of people who came together to commemorate the countless women that have experienced male violence, whilst also fighting against such oppressions and calling for justice and change.